Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Shepherd's Morning, where we rise with the Lord, where we rely upon His holy word each and every day of our lives. I want to thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to get into Morning by Morning, Charles Spurgeon's devotional written on various verses from the Bible to help us start our day. Today we're listening to Hosea 12:12. Israel served for a wife, and for a wife he guarded sheep. Here's what Charles has to say. In conversation with Laban, Jacob described what he had done. These 20 years I have been with you. What was torn by wild beasts I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it myself. From my hand you required it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was. By day the heat consumed me, and the cold by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes. Even more arduous than this was the life of our Savior here below. He watched over us until he was able to say, "Of those whom you gave me, I have lost not one." His hair was wet with dew, and his locks with the drops of the night. Sleep departed from his eyes, for all night he was in prayer, wrestling for his people. One night Peter must be pleaded for. Suddenly another claims his tearful intercession. No shepherd sitting beneath this cold skies, looking up to the stars, could ever utter such complaints because of the hardness of his toil as Jesus Christ might have brought, if he had chosen to do so, because of the sternness of his service in order to procure his bride. Cold mountains and the midnight air witnessed the fervor of his prayer. The desert his temptations knew, his conflict and his victory too. It's helpful to meditate upon the spiritual parallel of Laban having required all the sheep at Jacob's hand. If they were torn by beasts, Jacob must make it good. If any of them died, he must guarantee their replacement. Was not the toil of Jesus for his church the toil of one who was under obligation to bring every believing one safe to the hand of him who had committed them to his charge? Look upon toiling Jacob, and you see a representation of him of whom we read. He will tend his flock like a shepherd. Wow, there's so much I want to say when I read this. I think of my own calling as a shepherd, an under shepherd under the good shepherd, and how much he's asked me to do. I'm not sure that I've ever taken the time to truly compare my calling as a shepherd to Jacob. I've preached and talked and taught on how we're not to let even one, not even the least of these, depart. That as a shepherd, and I hope you hold your priests and your pastors to this, we don't let people just randomly come in church shopping and go. We're called to commit to them, to gather them, and watch over them. And while someone may go to a different church, that's okay because it's still in the fields of the Lord. What we watch for is the one that doesn't go to church, the one who is truly lost, the one who has drifted away. That is the one that we should be willing to leave the other 99 and find. Hear this example of Jacob being told that he has to replace anyone that is lost. Makes me consider how each of us called to watch over our brothers and our sisters should be willing to do that. How would you not replace but prevent from being lost? How would you protect your brothers and your sisters in the fold? What would you be willing to do to guide, to guard, to shepherd with love your neighbor? I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters, as you prepare to go out this morning into the world. May you, with God's help, go forth, ready to guide and guard not just the sheep of your family, your children, your wife, your husband, but be willing to shepherd all those that God entrusts you with. Friends who maybe don't even know Jesus. Friends who know it, or who know Jesus but have drifted away from the church. Brothers and sisters, go forth faithfully this day into the world, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the evening when we gather again. This is Motorcycle Pastor signing off. See you tonight.